welcome to my recipe video series where we're making extreme, cheap food for busy for busy people like me. This video is about desserts. We're only making desserts 30 cents a serving. You're welcome.
This first recipe is depression cake. Mix flour, sugar, cocoa powder, salt, and baking soda. Add oil, water, vinegar, and mix again. Pour in an 8x8 baking pan. Bake for 35 minutes at 350 degrees. 78 cents to make the cake, and the frosting was $1.74. The frosting alone cost twice as much as the cake. This cake was so rich and flavorful that we made a second batch for a friend's birthday. It was such a good cake. This next recipe is chocolate pudding. In a cold pan, mix sugar, cocoa powder, and cornstarch. With the heat still off, pour in cold almond milk and whisk well. Then turn the heat on and bring it to a boil. Stir the whole time. It takes less than 5 minutes. Once the pudding mixture thickens, turn off the heat and pour it into heat-safe containers, or let it cool down before pouring it into whatever you have. I added yogurt for garnish since I was taking pictures of it. This was easy to throw together, and I made a second batch for my husband, who pretty much ate the whole thing in 2 sittings. It was really good. Next up is Funfetti cookies. Mix sugar into oil, water, vinegar, and vanilla until it's dissolved. In a large mixing bowl, mix flour, baking soda, baking powder, salt. Add the sugary liquid to the dry ingredients and stir with a large spoon or spatula. Once the dough comes together, add in sprinkles. Chill dough for an hour. This recipe is cheap because we're using vegetable oil and sprinkles instead of butter, coconut oil, and chocolate chips. Roll about 14 balls of dough and bake at 375 for about 8 minutes. This last recipe is biscuit donuts in the air fryer. To make icing, mix a tiny amount of almond milk or water with powdered sugar. I added pink food coloring to one batch and cocoa powder to a second batch. I found a buttery flavored canned biscuit dough that is dairy-free. I used a large piping tip to cut out the donut holes for each biscuit. I sprayed them with cooking spray and air fried them in small batches. I did 330 degrees for 8 minutes. I did flip them halfway through. I also cooked the donut holes for about 6 minutes. Dip them in icing and add sprinkles. These are only good hot, so serve them immediately. They're fluffy and hearty, and the buttery flavor is out of this world. You can't go wrong with such a lazy recipe. Who doesn't like donuts? Thanks for watching! All the recipes are linked below, and check out the other 4 videos in the series.